Good evening, everyone. We have 3 visitors now. Yes, hello all. Hope everybody is well. We're here for round 9 of the Cone Racing Academies of CRL. The race 9, we're in the Grand Prix du Canada. 14 turns, 35 laps today, 4.3 kilometre track, 2.7 miles. Otherwise, I am going to hand you over to who I am very happy to be here with me is Mr. Stan Schlag. He's going to tell you a little bit about the track.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for the lovely intro. Thank you very much. And let's start with Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Island, because before the racetrack was built in 1976, it was actually meant to be for the Summer Olympics between 1967 and 1976, and then afterwards it has been changed into a racing track. It is a very, very exciting racing track, many turns, 2 DRS zones, and very, very high speed. The lap record is currently 1:13.078 from Bottas from last year, but let me just give you a small heads up about the most common turn, the Wall of Champions. For the few under us who don't know the Wall of Champions, it has been named since the GP in 1999, where 3 world champions, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, and I do apologize for the name, Jacques Villeneuve, all crashed into the Wall of Champions. Michael Schumacher, by the way, was a 2-time world champion already, and he led the race for a long time, for 30 laps, and he crashed out in the Wall of Champions, and this is where the name comes from. So very, very exciting for today, and Fessenplacker, take us down to the first lap.
Well, I'm just on board with McConey, who's just gone round turn 7. He is starting us off for the hottest lap, or the first fast lap of the session, into turn 8, harsh on the brakes, really tight at that corner. You're going to have to keep as much pace through there as you possibly can. Got to realise that he's also on the mediums, however, as he just enters sector 3 going in around turn 10, the tight hairpin of turn 10. And it's good, albeit to get the launch round here as they head towards, or he heads towards Casino Straight. That goes towards the 2 corners in question, 13 and 14. 14 being the Wall of Champions that you have already mentioned. And he's came off DRS, so I imagine he hasn't set a lap on this occasion. And this may be his hot lap here instead. Others on a hot lap, are you having a look? Is there anyone else around?
Tom Top about to finish. He's entering the final chicane. Wall of Champions, is he gonna nail it? He is activating DRS almost at the finish line. What time is it gonna be? It's gonna be quicker. It is, and 1:09.97, and takes pole by 2 seconds.
That's not a bad first lap at all on the softs. Looks like there's going to be dark clouds over the top of us to see whether or not that affects the times. Coggett has just come in to finish up his first lap, and he puts himself second with a 1:10, almost dead on. Not a bad opening lap for him. So we will go on board with someone else and see where they are. That's 2 invalidated laps I'm looking at with them. We'll jump on board. No, it's Coggett. We've just been on board with him, sorry. Let's have a little look further down the pack. As you see, Salt King has already set a time. Let's go on board with Matt Warner. As we sit on board with Matt Warner, we'll let him go around and start his hot lap. A little bit about the people racing today. McLaren's Dat Roland is in. Unfortunately, Immortal Viking couldn't be with us this evening. Or is he? No. Racing Point, no. We have Murphy and MUFC Harvey. Mercedes, Anthony Stan has someone setting in for him this evening of Melvin, who we have obviously seen before, Reverend Melvin. In his partnership with Piero 1987, Ferrari, Sprunky and Luke Knock. Unfortunately, Luke Knock couldn't be here either. He's an absent racer tonight. For the Renaults, we have Shadow Moody and Mishi Joy. He steps in for Luis Coelho, who couldn't be with us tonight either. Unfortunately, the Alfa Romeos of Kierant and Coggett both present. The Haas of Big Ben and Matt Warner both in their cars this evening. Red Bulls, Salt King and Tom Moore tip top. Williams of Van Gogh Verden and Matt Coney And finally, AlphaTauri's Warrior Huntsman, unfortunately Crash Gaming also couldn't be with us this evening. But we are on board with Matt Warner. Goes round turn 2, heading uphill. Hard to get grip around turn 2. Virage. Was it? Yeah, virage turn. It's very tough. As you can see, again, another tricky 2 turns is 3 and 4. 3 going downhill, and all it takes is a little tap on that wall on the outside, and you can get some problems with the wing. And of course, downforce is key on this track, and you can see there that he's got his gears a little bit wrong there, Matt. Gets into the DRS, tries to get as much pace as he can going into turn 8. 8 and 9, another tricky couple, comes right down, plays this one a little bit safer, make sure that he gets around the lap. He's going to stay with his total ground at the moment, no changes at the top. BX Pro is third with a 110.1. He's currently in the pits. We've got Warrior Huntsman who's on an outlap, and we'll join him in just a second as we see Matt Warner come up to the Casino Straight.
It's in lap time is invalidated as well, so question is he going into the pits or is he starting a new one? He's starting a new lap on used tires as well. Matt Warner, hopefully he'll be able to, no worries.
I didn't realise I didn't look to the right. I don't even know when he invalidated. I got that into the lap. I was just watching what he was doing.
I was a bit confused for a second, but I was like, are you talking about Matt Warner? But here we go. Matt Warner is trying Sector 1 currently. He had a little bit of traffic there. Sector 1, 20.9. Actually, I have no idea if that is quick or not. Comparing to the others, maybe you have a bit more diesels there. But DRS well activated. For the next turn on the right, he can cut a lot of curb, but he went a little bit deep as well on the exit. It was going to cost him a lot of time. Now it is the pre-ultimate corner, as I would say, the 180 turn, and he touched the wall. I think he's going to go into the pit straight away. That's very, very unfortunate for Matt. Again, maybe going out for a new lap on new tyre set.
Well, just coming up the final straight is Warrior Huntsman. He is yet to set a lap. Warrior is currently, or shall I say, as of last week, he won the race round 8 in Brazil. And I'll say a little bit about that in a second, but Warrior Huntsman also is our current leader of the championship. We're just going to see what his lap time is now. And that is why, with a 109.8 for the Warrior Huntsman. Well done him on the softs. Looks like soft's going to be the choice. I think mediums are nice around this track, I'll be honest. I think you can do, you can keep a lot of pace with mediums, but as you can see, they've all opted for softs to come out and have a go and see what times they can put down. But well done, Warrior Huntsman. So, Brazil last week, round 8, what a superb race we had. As usual with CRA, it's becoming a bit of a theme, which is always nice to see. Warrior Huntsman won the race. Big Ben in second position. McConey came third. Lynx Aviate, I don't think he's in tonight, but he's shown his skill once or twice now. He came in fourth. Dat Roland in fifth. Dat Roland's still third in the championship, so he's staying up there. Tomo Tip Top in sixth. Cogitaz in seventh. Kierant in 8th, Sprunky in 9th, and the Reverend Melvin, as we have here again tonight, he came in 10th position and got the last of the points. In the championships, we have Warrior Huntsman leading affairs, Big Ben in 2nd, sorry, I will shut up in a second, Dat Roland in 3rd, Matt Coney in 4th, Tomo Tip Top is in 5th with Sprunky, Cogitaz, Kierant, Immortal Viking, and Piero in 10th position. Warrior Huntsman comes into the pit. Sorry, I've been on board with Warrior, I'll get told off for that.
That's alright. I was just watching as well. Fun covered, and he had a decent lap as well here. But the Wall of Champions caught him out, and he invalidated on the exit because he touched the wall as well on the exit of Wall of Champions. Now driving with damage. Very, very unfortunate for him. Not having a lap time on the table so far. He needs to go to the pit straight away.
Yeah, I mean, with 8 minutes to go, Dat Roland has been out, I believe, already. Has he? I didn't see, but he hasn't set a lap as yet. So he's out again to have another go. We're just on board with Assault King currently. He is in P10 with a 111.9. We're just going to see whether or not he can better his lap, as we saw Bex Pro with a 109.7. I don't think I said him when I was listing the cars, so I do apologise. I don't know who he's setting him for tonight. But
I will have a look for you.
Please, it's not Big Ben, is it? Possibly can't see him.
Could be.
Yeah, potentially. Well, there's been a purple sector for Assault King, but as we've just seen there in the treacherous turn of number 10, it's so easy to lose the car, trying to get your toe down too soon, try and get loads of pace coming up this long straight, the casino straight, and heading to 13 and 14 to finish the lap off. Quite easily done. As you can see, a bit of debris, and he runs over a bit of debris in the middle of the track there. Assault King, can he better his time? He does, ever so slightly, to 1:11.298 and puts himself in P9. Kogataz is currently still at the top, 109.5, or he has gone top with a 109.5 actually. Did I miss that? I'm not having a good one, am I?
Just watching Matt Warner as well at the moment. He was able to start another lap, and I think this on new tires. Yes, they are, and he abandoned his lap time. He cut the turn, but on my screen it's not invalidated. So the question is if he's keep going. He got purple sector and sector 2. I'm very confused. There are many bugs as well still showing me the fastest lap of Shadow Moody 11.9. But very curious to see here the outcome after Matt Warner's next attempt to master the Wall of Champions. And no, he's going into the pit lane. That might be another commentator bug. Alright, let's go to the next one.
Well, I'm just with Piero just to see whether or not he's going to better his lap. It looked like he had a purple sector too. You can still see that debris on the side of the track just by Wall of Champions where someone has left it. I'm not sure if he's going to improve. I think he did, but didn't change position. It was 110.7 he then got with his second lap out on the softs. What we will do though is have a look at Kirant. Kirant is in the Alfa Romeo and he is on his outlap just about to go through 13 and 14, and he's clipped the wall. Did that affect him? We shall see whether it did, but he's still put his time down, and with 5 minutes left he really wants to put his banker down and then maybe save from a reserve a fresh soft with the last couple of minutes of the qualifying. Maybe he'll get a chance to do that.
He didn't validate his time as well. A nice update as well from the YouTube chat. Everyone, lovely welcome to everyone who is watching. Nathan already wishing good luck to everyone from the CR Academy. And Shadow Moody gave us an update from BX37 Pro. And yes, it is Big Ben. So
it's appeared different for me. Right, okay. It normally says Big Ben.
It does
so
usually.
Right, Big Ben. So he is here. He is here. Confusing times.
Confusing
right,
times
so
everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Reverend Melvin. He has invalidated, as did Kirant. So I don't know whether or not they have kept enough fuel in the tank or whether they'll go back into the pits. Van Gogh Verdant has also he has invalidated his as well. Matt Warner is having another go. He's on his outlap currently. We'll have a little jump up the pack and let's see who else is on an outlap. I think it's fair to give Bex Pro or Big Ben, whatever you would like to be called, and I do apologise, Ben. I should have known that actually. You've been around with us for quite some time now, so poor from me. But he is coming round turn 10 into sector 3 and he'll go flat out into the DRS section coming up just about now. And we'll see whether or not he can better his lap. He's currently sat in P2. Kogataz in with a 109.561. He's in the Alfa Romeo alongside Kirant, who we've just seen at the bottom of the pack. So they're opposite ends at the moment, but hopefully Kirant can put a lap in, gets a time down with 3 minutes and 50 to go. Fingers crossed for him. But we were on with Bex Pro. He goes and swinging around turn 2, up the hill towards turn 3. That downhill straight away again. Turn 3, very important to get the braking right, take as much corner as you can. It looks like he's in full control here. It's a good start to the lap, and yep, currently showing this is solid enough. Just catches the grass a little bit there. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, in fairness. It looked as if someone's had a bit of a jump there at the top. Who did we see there? Dat Roland. No, he's on an outlap. Was it McConey? Sprunky.
Nakoni's an outlet. I'm watching him as well. So far, very good sector 1. He was 0.04 seconds faster than his fastest lap, and now again for sector 2, will he be able to improve his lap time of a 1:99.70? Just driving down the straight, activated DRS on time as well. It's all down to the Wall of Champions. As for many drivers, he's and he invalidated his lap time again, but what's going to be the final time, just for reference? It would have been a 10-1, but very unfortunate for him here. Very interesting to see. I want to point out the times we are having at the moment. We have the pole position of a 9.5 and all the way going down to a 12.8 at the moment. Ooh.
Yeah, sorry, interrupted. No, keep going.
Alright, I'm gonna try. Yes, we have a big difference between all the times. This is just showing everyone how difficult this track is with track invalidation. It's very easy to cut the turns here, very easy to lose the car as well, and this is what we can see here. Matt as well, especially struggling of trying to put a time on the board.
So while we were talking, the little yelp that you heard from me was a 109.6 from Tomo Tiptop. He puts himself above Big Ben and puts himself into P2. I was on board with Murphy there for a second to see if he could better his lap. He is in P9 currently with Piero in P10, who too didn't better. Oh no, actually he's still on his lap. So we'll stay on board with Piero second in the Mercedes and see whether or not he can push on. He's partnered by Melvin this evening, who steps in. He's currently in P12 just behind, but with a 110.7 as he gets onto the final straight, or the second final straight, I guess, with the opening straight. See whether or not Piero can do any better than P10 as McConaughey retires from the session. And with 1 minute left, he isn't going to get back in time, or certainly won't have time to get back out, same as Big Ben. And Piero does in fact go faster. He puts himself in P8 with a 110.1, Kieran a 110. So we're coming with 46 seconds left. Please tell me who is out and about. Have we got anyone out and about? Sprunky, Kogatas is trying to better his lap again. He's keen. And he does. He does. He goes a 109.3. Absolutely class by him. Sprunky's out on 2-3. Is there anyone else can beat them now? The rest of them are in the pits. I think that's it for the first round of qualifying. Still on board with Dat Roland, who can put a quicker lap in, but he's with 2 laps of softs. I doubt he's going to go with a 109.3 realistically, and in fairness, please blow me away. I'd be very surprised to see it. Earlier on I'd written down, which I hadn't even said, which I really wish I had of now, but a soft lap under 109.5 I thought would have been there or thereabouts, good enough to win it, and can you believe I've shot myself in the foot, but I promise I did say it. So 109.5ish, 110.5 with the mediums, but we didn't see we didn't see much, if anyone, go out on mediums, I think, in this session. I can't remember seeing anybody. I was at 1 or 2 early doors.
Really, just McConaughey at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure that worked out.
Dat Roland is trying to improve his lap time. He's finishing his lap. It's just made Wall of Champions going over the line, and he improved.
Wow.
Went up to P5. He came out of nowhere. I didn't even know he was on track. Apologies for that, but very impressive for him taking P5 here at the end. And also quick update on to Matt Warner. Was able to put a time on the board, but it was a 12.7. But as I said, Canada, one of the harder tracks in the calendar.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see that in the variability from top to bottom. There's 3+ seconds, 3.5 seconds really from top to bottom. So that's quite a large amount, considering the track's only 1 minute 9. There's other small tracks, around there that you wouldn't expect to see anywhere near that being the difference. But there's so many places you can slip off, so many places you can invalidate around here. Unfortunately. Or fortunately, I suppose, it makes for a superb race, and I'm sure you don't have it.
Makes it interesting for us.
Yeah, Kogatas. So Kogatas finishes, because it's going to go off in a minute and probably cut me off again. 109.3 for Kogatas. He tops in P1. Tomo Tiptop with a 109.6. Sprunky in third with a 109.6 also, but 9.3, so only 0.04 of a second between. Am I right? 100th? Yes, I am. Of a second between second and third, and that's all I got to. But we're here again. Bex Pro, or Big Ben, is in the Haas as usual, and I should have known that. He was 109.7. He's in fourth. Dat Roland in fifth for the McLaren. Warrior Huntsman with the AlphaTauri. Our current championship leader, he comes in at sixth. Seventh is McConey. Eight Piero is the first, so eighth position in the 110. So 7 really strong laps there. 8 Piero, 9 Kieran, 10 Murphy. We have Assault King, Reverend Melvin, Shadow Moody, Van Gogh Verdin in 14th for the Williams, and then finishing off the grid in 15th and 16th is Matt Warner and the stand-in Mishi Joy, who is here for Luis Coelho this evening, who couldn't race for his Renault.
Very interesting to see as well. Top 9 are all under a second difference. There are only 8/10 difference. And also, just a quick update, just as we achieved the 10 viewers on YouTube, an update from Sadistic King, also enjoying the stream here, wishing McLaren all the best, and especially Shadow Moody. Some supporter in the chat as well. Ben, don't get disqualified. So, well wishings from all of us for the beginning of the race here in Canada. Turn 1, very exciting.
Yeah, it could be very exciting, or it could be not so exciting. And we have a safety car straight off the block. Hopefully not. Everyone needs to respect each other in turn 1 and turn 2. You've got to. It's just one of them tracks. There's no point on dive bombing in this one because, you know, if you lose wing, it's all about downforce, and even the slightest tap on a car in front of you, you're wrecking your race first and foremost. And then there is simply no point of gaining 1 or 2 positions to purely hand them back within 3 or 4 corners, just purely because you can't get any downforce on the car. So it'll be interesting. I think everyone will be clever tonight. I do think everyone will be clever. I think everyone's wise enough and had enough races now in this division to understand that it just doesn't work. You know, if there's a gap there, don't get me wrong. If there's a gap there, you know,
if there's a gap, you have to go for it. You have to go for it.
If there's a gap, you get in that gap. But if you know, realistically, you've got to think wisely at the start of races. You know, think of longevity. It's 50% in the academy now of a true race. That's 35 laps that we're going to have in the race today. You've got to really think about the 35 laps with a bad wing or no wing. Or problems. It's a long old time. But they're going to come round on the formation lap. Everyone is setting off. Someone got overexcited and thought they'd drive through everyone in the Mercedes. Probably thought they'd had the launch of their lives. Just probably clicked it's the formation lap now. And Kogataz was disqualified position. Oh dear.
Oh god.
Kieran has as
well.
well.
Crashing into each other.
McConey. I gather. Oh no.
Can't select the menu. There we go.
Yeah,
finally we can as well. That looks like a big bug.
Yeah, clearly there was a few that haven't moved on the grid. What probably would have happened, just to let our viewers know, that there would have been contact between 2 of the cars, or 3 or 4 or 5 of the cars. I think 3 in this case. Oh, they need to be careful.
Someone tipped up the touch. Dead Roland.
Yeah, don't get overexcited. They did. And that is what happens. So you're going to go into turn 1 that we've already talked about as slippy, and now you're going to have cold tyres to do it. Well done you. We go on board with Sprunky. Is it the front? Is it the back? Or what is going on? I'm not sure that the thing on the left-hand side, our graphics, is correct either currently. But
that looks very confusing for me as well.
We'll catch it up in a second. I think it's just because people on the grid have sort of messed that up a little bit. So first and second aren't true, first and second, etc. But don't worry, we are making our way back around. Just a quick one on the strategy as the cars make their ways back in. Soft, medium may be the option of the day. Obviously, you can go soft, hard, and try and get round, but hard have got obviously a hell of a lot of laps to go and don't get as much downforce as the mediums. And I think in a race so fast paced with the downforce, I think you may be better off sticking with the quicker compounds for this race. But we will see. It's selected the soft. Hard soft is another 8 laps and 19 on the hards before you finish on 8. I'm not sure that's any more beneficial than a soft medium of an 8, 14 and 30 as we wait 1 second.
Just watching Sprunky as well, going through all the cars here on the left hand side. But here we go. Finally everyone is back on the grip. However, if they made the formation lap or not, everyone is back. Hopefully no one got disqualified as well. As we start now, here we go. I can't even see the lights, but I assume it's gonna be 4 lights on, 5 lights on, and...
Is there 5 laps on? Have we
Is
got
it
a stall
5 lights on?
It looks like
Is
we've
the
got a bit of a
first light
stall.
on?
We've got a stall, we'll get on
think-
board. There's a green light. We'll get on board with Kogataz, and this is what he's currently looking at. What are we looking at? Has there been a bit of a stall? Please don't say there is a restart.
I think there's
and
some
a
connection
custom grid.
issues as well.
Can't see the connection issues currently.
Maybe on the left with Dead Roland and Murphy and Mish Joy.
Would you think
100%
that
sure what
this
is
could be
going
something
on.
to do with what happened in the first
Let me
place?
check race director, but there's nothing. Maybe yes.
Apologies if you are watching. These things unfortunately happen from time to time, a couple of times recently, which is very, very disappointing. Can't be helped though,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Luckily, I have to say, I haven't been experienced that many bugs on the PlayStation. If you do watch some esportler or esport coach like TRL Limitless, who does race on the Xbox and the PC, he has experienced many more bugs. So lucky us, it's not that common on the PlayStation. But from time to time, we do have these kind of issues as well.
Yeah.
As we're
so
just going through the. There we go.
Are we away? We're away.
We are
Did-
about to start, yes. 5 lights on
someone
and
leave?
lights out, and away we go. Tomo Tipto has a good start, still in P2, behind Kogota's house looking in the field.
What is going on?
Let's
Kogataz, right,
see.
okay. We're going to try and catch up here. Kogataz has got to the front. Don't know what was going on. There was some grayed out cars. You can still see there's a few cars not in the session. Dat Roland has left the session. There has been problems. I'm not sure if this is a connection issue and how many cars are still actually in this race. There may be a regrid if things don't correct themselves. It has to be at least 5 cars that were affected and taken out the race in one go, and that forces a restart of the race. But from what I can see, all of the cars are starting to make a little bit more sense now. I'm going to jump to the front with Kogataz. He is leading affairs with Tomo Tip Top in second. He is back in racing. Big Ben is racing. It looks like we are underway finally. Sprunky in fourth, Worry Huntsman in fifth. Everything looks fairly clean so far. There's a little bit of changing of positions back with Dat Roland, who has just got in front of McConey, but McConey takes it back. Was there a bit of connection there? We're going to stay with them very closely just for a second, while there is half a second developed at the front of the pack with Kogataz. Blue flags signalling, blue lights, not entirely sure what is going on with the game. We've had a few issues. As someone goes straight across the corner, that looked like an Alfa Romeo. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. Not too sure who it belonged to, but it wasn't Kogataz, so it must have been the other one, Kirant, who I'm bored with at the moment, as he makes a decent turn too, goes past the McLaren, and the Renault follows him up. Sorry if you can see some ghost in between some of the cars. It is just trying to keep up. We saw the Red Bull there go off the track. Did he hit the corner? He certainly... Did he stop there? I didn't see him continue through the corner. But we're on board with Piero. All sorts going off in this track at the moment. Let's go on the interval between the races so we can catch up with who is near who and try and make some sort of sense of what we've just seen as McConey goes side by side with the Red Bull. Slight contact. McConey spins. He has gone in the Williams. He's going to fall down. That is very unfortunate for him. That was turn 9, turn 8 and 9. So close. The cars side by side. That can happen. And McConey looks to get a pass done again with Matt Warner. He keeps the inside line. Will Matt get it done? Matt backs off, tries to go for the undercut and doesn't quite get it, but he's going to be in a slipstream coming up the casino straight. Not sure if he... Oh, yeah. Put the mic a little bit closer. Sorry. If I'm either quiet or loud, I never quite know week to week. But let's go and have a little look at what's going on. Tomo Tiptop has got himself a penalty. He is 1.6 seconds behind Kogataz. Big Ben nearly a second, 0.8 of a second behind. McConey goes back past that Roland. I'm going to jump back on board. But that Roland currently not in the race, is he? Or was he back on board now? Not sure if he made it his way back in. I know he said he'd gone. Did he come back in?
Yeah, I've been double checking every single driver if they are connected, and that Roland is the only one. I've sent him a couple of invites already straight from the beginning as soon as I realized that he left the session. I'm not 100% sure if he's able to rejoin, but he's losing so many positions now, unfortunately. Yeah. Very, very unfortunate for him.
Very
not sure what's going on there.
Disappointed indeed. That's Dat Roland. He came 5th last week in race 8 in Brazil. He'll be disappointed. Currently 3rd in the championship. Just sat with Murphy. He is half a second behind Piero 987, who has had a fantastic start. Up 3 places from 7th. 8th position after a decent qualifier again, so he's going really well. There is a little bit of a gap to Warrior Huntsman, who seems to be pulling a little bit of a gap out from them now, and it's the top 4 that seem to be trying to get away from the pack a little bit. There is some jockeying also at the Wall of Champions there. Kieran, I believe, got in front of Assault. Assault just tapped the grass on the way into turn 1. Hasn't affected him too bad, but he has gone wide on the corner, so we've got to see a few cars now. I'm just going to play around with that a little bit.
I need to send a few invites out. I'm not really seeing the race at all.
Don't worry. Unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast, and some people have been removed from the session. But we've got to stay on board. And Sprunky, I believe I've just seen facing sideways, and I would be right. He is having a bad day at the office. Sprunky, unfortunately, has took a hit, and he's the back of the pack. Van Gogh Verden in 15th, 22nd. He must have had a little bit of a problem also. Unfortunate for him, sat down there. Dat Roland, as we know, Matt Warner trying to get up the pack. But currently he is struggling. He's gone a couple of places up. Mishi is the stand-in for the Renault. He's gone 4 places up. Going to jump on board with Reverend, who is on the straight. Got Assault King in his view. Can he make a change? That looks like there's been a swap between Bex Pro and Tomo Tip Top into 2nd place, and we're going to jump on board with them in just a second and see whether or not Tomo can keep close to the back of Big Ben.
Sprunky went as well went into the pits. Not sure if he's actually connected, but what? He just teleported back on the track.
Oh, that's good. That's some good driving. That's some very good driving.
That is good driving. It's very impressive. Yeah,
from Sprunky. Impressive stuff by him. Handbrake turned it in and out the pits instantaneously, and he does need his plaudits for that, but it does say he's now 2 laps behind, so something's gone wrong, and I don't think he's going to have much of a chance in this one, I'm afraid. Van Gogh Verden also struggling but trying to push. We are up with Tomo Tip Top, who's still got his eyes on Big Ben. However, Big Ben is creating that little bit of a gap. DRS, of course, for Tomo, but he is not going to be close enough to make the turn by turn 13. Was it 13? 13, yes, turn 13. I was going to say 13 is obviously the Wall of Champions, be it 13 and unlucky, but that's not the case. We did have the conversation before as we jumped on board with Murphy and Piero getting back past on the straight. Decent final corner, both of them go close to the wall, utilising all of that space close as possible to the Wall of Champions to keep as much pace through there as possible. However, Murphy did pick himself up a 3-second penalty to try and keep himself close to Piero, but he's got himself in a good position, P6, albeit that he has got that penalty, but there's a few behind him. Assault King, Reverend both have 2, and we see once again a little bit of an issue with the time board on the left hand side. I do apologise for the viewers that we are having the odd little bit of a problem, but I'm sure it'll sort itself out. It always does in the end. That's got to be a corner cut. That's naughty from Murph. Let's jump up to Bex Pro. Cogatas well round the corner. He is a little bit of a time behind Cogatas now. As you see him just rounding the corner before him. So Cogatas, well done him, considering when he joined in the season, he was 7th last week, but he is in the champs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th also in the championships. So well done him. He is making a real dive to try and get his points on the board and prove his worth. He is certainly doing so. 3-second time penalty on the last corner for Big Ben. Tomo Tip Top is closely in behind him, so we'll jump on board and have a little look going into turn 1. A lot of the corner taken, has a little look down the inside. Big Ben shuts the door on that. No chance, you sir, not a chance. Nor you're going to get it in the next 2 or 3 now that's the case, because he's opened himself that little bit of a gap up. But we're going to stay on board with Tomo just for a second. Little bit of movement in the field is Warrior Huntsman. He has came in lap 7 for the pit. Let's have a little look on my screen now. We'll have a little look at these stops. Currently, should tell me there. Yeah, it does. Warrior Huntsman has stopped. Salt King and Van Gogh Verden have all been in the pits now. The tyres there is the Warrior Huntsman, who is now on the mediums. He turns that early doors, so he's going for the two-stop, you would imagine. The soft, medium, trying to go for the undercut, try and get some fresh air. Is that a genius act? Is it not? We shall see. But it looks a pretty good shout to me.
Alright, I think things are getting back to the normal now. We have sent some invites. I think Death Roland is back, but is still a lap behind, unfortunately, because of the big issues. He wasn't able to join back to the race. But everyone is back as far as I can see.
Perfect. Sorry to interrupt. Yep. We were just on board with Tomo Tiptop, who made a lovely pass around Big Ben. He did that along Casino Straight, had all of the time in the world with the DRS down, and he got himself past Kierant, jumps in past Murphy. Of course he does, because Murphy's in the pits. Kierant still out there. He's in fifth, 2 seconds behind Piero. He's 10 seconds behind the top three now of the race. But I'm just going to jump onto their tyres, and we will be able to see exactly why that is. So the top 7 in the race from Kogataz, Tomo Tiptop, Big Ben, Piero, Kierant, Shadow, Reverend, and just them, the top 7. They are all on 7 laps of softs, with Warrior Huntsman just sat in behind them, who has already come onto his medium. So there's a few at the front of the track that we would imagine will come into the pit soon. Will they try a one-stop? Will a few try the hards, or will a few try and change the methods a little bit? We haven't seen a safety car, which is brilliant. I actually said before the race that
sorry to interrupt you as well. You were talking about Warrior Huntsman, who was behind the soft runners. He is on medium tyres, and he was just passing by Melvin. Now he has overtake and DRS on Shadow, Modi, in front of the Wall of Champions. He's not going to go for it. He's a little bit too far behind. He's not expecting overtake, but maybe on the next long straight, if he gets a good exit, and he does. DRS activated, going around the outside and making a smooth, very clean, well done from Huntsman here. Now up in P3 on the medium tyres as Tomo Tiptop is just going out, and he made the position so close. Huntsman still behind Tomo Tiptop. That was very, very close.
This is some brilliant driving, as you saw. There was people coming out of the pits, there was people flying around the outside of the pits, and they all seem to slot in just behind each other quite nicely. It just shows you how close this race is, and what can happen with the right strategies, because we've now got people on different ones. Kieran is obviously going to, he's going to drop out soon enough, as Reverend and Shadow and McConey all do have to pit, but they have plenty of options. They have all gone on mediums, by the way. Nobody's gone. It looks like everybody's going to go for the... Whoa! Kieran has lost his traction, and he will inevitably come round to the pits after that, just showing you that it was maybe a lap one more than he possibly needed with those softs to get himself into those mediums. But I can see why he did, with a little bit more fresh space in front of him to attack. I'm just on board with Warrior Huntsman. Actually.
Beautiful taken from Huntsman, attacking Tomo Tiptop here. Tomo Tiptop got the DRS as well as from Kieran. They're going side by side into turn number 1. No, they're not, as Huntsman took the lead from Tomo Tiptop, and now Big Ben, they're all together. This is going to be a very interesting to see, as Tomo Tiptop is doing a switchback here. And that was very close on to maybe getting another warning to Tiptop. That was well cut, but well done. Beautiful racing here in Canada.
Superb, very much a joy to see. Dat Roland got himself a penalty, probably pushing too hard, and is now pulled himself out of the race and retired. As you rightly said, Warrior Huntsman, some unbelievable racing by him. He's really trying to push it and get himself up there, but he's now got Kogataz and Tomo Tiptop in front of him on fresher tyres, but only 2 laps on the mediums, which, if anything, Warrior will still have the pace at the moment, having probably the right amount of temperature in those tyres, and probably attack maybe just equalising out around now. We're going to have a little jump down and have a little look at Murphy. He's currently in P7. He is behind the Mercedes of Piero, or Piero of Mercedes. He's going to have DRS on the Casino straight. Will he be close enough to get the move done here? He has opened his overtake out, and he is going to probably look to the inside of him going towards the turn. Is he going to go for it? He has, and he thought better of it just before the turn. Maybe a good shout, you know. I don't think he gets there just in time, and that's the difference between smash and no smash. So well done him. McConey comes out on the hards, so he is going to try and finish the race with this being the final stop. Is that the shout of the session? Let's see. I'm very, very interested to see whether or not this is the shout of the session, whether this is going to help him if he can keep close. He's just coming out the pits, but we have a virtual safety car, and that is because of something happening somewhere on the track. Do you know where it was?
Wow, very tough to say. I know I've noticed that Dad Roland did DNF, and he went into the pits. As Sprunky's bot, by the way, is still jumping around, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very weird what's happening here in this race. But yeah, Dad Roland wasn't able to drive without any connection issues. Very, very unfortunate for him. He had to retire in the pits, being 2 or 1 lap down on P14.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Roland. Not very good for you, mate. I know that's not nice, because you're powerless when it's the connection. Certainly where he is in the league as well, he wouldn't have wanted a pointless round with only 3 races to go. Sorry, 2 after this. 2 races to go. We've got round 10 next week. It's going to be in China, which we'll talk about later on. But only a couple of races after this one to go. Can you believe? At that point, I think it's only right that I should give Mr. DeWill a mention, because he has done enough in Tier 1 to cement his place as the 2-time Cone Racing League Tier 1 driver of the season. He came numero uno. Very impressive. I don't know what else to say about him. He's doing superb and making unbelievable benchmarks in CRL already. So big shout out him for the AlphaTauri, as we look at another AlphaTauri who's just had his back wheel slap off the wall of champions, didn't lose too much time, and that's Warrior Huntsman in P2. He'll try and get the right angle. Oh, there's contact, and Tomo Tip Top goes sideways as Big Ben looks on the inside of both of them and gets the move done. He is going to lose a bit of time. Did he lose a bit of wing? Not sure. It looked like it was only the wheels that contacted, but can't see the very, very front end of the wing to see whether or not that is the case. I'll come back out. It looks like he's in full working order, and that's a good thing for Tomo Tip Top, because that would have been harsh, really, for him. But great shout by Big Ben. Warrior Huntsman in front of him, and Kogatas still at the front, pushing on. Kogatas, we've got to mention, also hasn't got a penalty, and me and Stan Schlag were talking just before the race, in fact, and I did say I would imagine there's going to be a fair few penalties today, and it's not to put anyone down in the Cone Racing Academy, not at all. I just know of the type of track when you side-by-side race and how easy it is just to run just a little bit too much corner to try and keep pace, and that can happen.
Big Ben is coming back. He overtook him on the straight. Warrior Huntsman now back in P3. Big Ben was able to overtake him just in front of Wall of Champions.
Super. I mean,
as well, very close.
Yeah, they're keeping that close towards each other. They've got a sort of DRS train between the 3 of these in 2, 3, 4, and it'll certainly be helping for the lap times. Getting nice and close. If it can keep close enough towards each other, you're right. It's almost whoever's at the front is the one that loses the the track position. Going into the DRSs, and then the two behind can get past, or maybe one at the most. But it's going to keep chopping and changing that way. We're just going to jump down because Murphy and Piero are side by side. Piero makes a beautiful turn. In fairness to him, around turn 1. In turn 2, sorry, and he gets himself in front of Murphy. Murphy still sat in 6th position. Murphy, a little bit of a better outcome for him so far today. Don't want to jinx him, but he is doing a little bit better. Piero, my partner in the Cone Cup. A little bit about the Cone Cup. I won't go too much into detail about this one. I've just done a bit of research. I went out in this one. I didn't go through.
Same with me as well.
So the Malva Golds. And no more. It's sad times. It's a very sad occasion. I've not slept since because I sort of feel like it was my fault having lost it coming out of the pit. Anyway, let's not talk about that now, or I'll only cry myself to sleep once more. We are still on board with Murphy looking at Piero as he gets DRS. Is he going to get it done this time? I don't think he's close enough personally. And we shall soon see. He's had a bit of a wave around and he's not going to get the job done there. So we're going to have a little jump onto the Red Bull of Tomo Tip-Top. Tomo Tip-Top is 6th in the championship so far. No, he isn't. He's 5th in the championship so far. He was 6th last week in Brazil. So again, he's quite regularly showing his right to be at the top of theirs. We see Matt Warner with another 3-second time penalty due to multiple warnings. Come on, Matt. Assault King out on hards. He's going to try and finish this race. We're not even 50% through this race yet. Can you believe there's been all sorts going on?
So much happened already. Very, very exciting. So many penalties. Van Goveren, another one here. Talking about penalties, looking at the top 5, we do have Kogutas with no penalties. Very good drive from him, able to drive away on a 5.5 seconds difference to Big Ben, who's fighting hard with Warriors Huntsman and Tomo Tip-Top during over the couple last 5 laps here. Very exciting and good to watch. Also, we had another question in the YouTube chat: who's the other driver in McLaren? But unfortunately, we don't have another driver. We weren't able to get another reserve for McLaren, unfortunately, out of this race with Dad Roland having big server issues. Very, very unfortunate for McLaren here today.
So I'm going to take all of the display from the screen. Every now and again I like to do this and just let the game flow in its pure state, because we have the top 3 behind Kogatas, of course, 2, 3, 4 that are really fighting out and having a beautiful little tussle, to be fair. There's not much racing against each other, but I think it's really shows that these races are pretty impressive. They stay nice and close to each other, all having solid races on all. And these need to be careful in each other's dirty air to get that braking right, and that can quite easily go wrong. And as we see, this DRS, so you'd expect one move to get done, but I don't think it's going to get done, because the Haas of Big Ben, as I'm now on board with, as we see him going into 13 and 14, he's fine. He kept enough of a gap, and he clearly got a great launch up the casino straight through turns 10, 11 and 12. I'm going to return these things to the screen just to see if anything else has gone on since the last time we saw each other. We'll have a little look at the position change from the start. There's only been a little bit of up and down jockeying for position, really, in the grand scheme of things. The biggest mover would be Missy Joy, who went in 5 positions above his starting position. Murphy, well done to him. He's dropped up 4 positions from P10, and the rest is, Kogatas has led from the front, started from the front, drove fantastically well. I'm going to jump on board despite there being a tussle, just to have a little look at where he is. 5 seconds in the lead. He's doing unbelievably well. Just coming again around the second to last corner, third to last corner. I'm going to jump on Bex Pro and see where he is. So you can see the difference. You can see the 2, 3 and 4 behind them, all still jockeying position, but that's a bad corner by Tomo Tip-Top. Lost a bit of grip, and he's going to find himself a little bit further back, but Warrior Huntsman is having a good old look at Bex Pro. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It's a virtual safety car. There is a yellow flag. That might have been why people slowed down there. I'm not too sure. Can you see? It looks like there was a blue car in sector 2.
Assault King. It's Assault King who DNF'd. I think that looks like a crash. And as I was talking about the crash, Matt Warner spun in turn number 1 under the virtual safety car. Now just waiting for all the cars to pass him, getting lapped by Tomo Tip-Top, Warriors Huntsman, and Big Ben. Very unfortunate for him. Not sure what happened there.
So
but yes.
It looked like after turn 2, going down the hill towards turn 3, as we know, the third and the fourth corner. They've started racing again. The third and the fourth corner is downhill and can get extremely slippy, certainly without fresh tyres on. And I have a good old feeling that someone has probably gone flat out, tried to keep a bit too much pace in there, little bit greedy, and all it takes is the slightest bit of greed in that corner, and you're bouncing either off the right hand side or you're carrying too much pace and the car wobbles. The balance of the car car escapes you, the traction goes with it, and as soon as that goes, it's like, you know, you're trying to drive a boat. There's no turning the car at that point, and your fate's pretty inevitable that you'll be spinning. It's just, you know, fingers crossed on the damage, unfortunately. I don't think he got away with it. So, Bex Pro in second. Big Ben, sorry, in second. Van Gogh Verden, he's in P12, but he has had a little bit of a problem there. Reverend Melvin's gone into the pits. When I say a little bit of a problem, sorry, it was a penalty. He's gone round turn 1. He's only got 1 position to go, though, and he's only 2 seconds behind. Can he get into the points this week? With 2 seconds to go and still half a race to go, bear in mind. We have got loads and loads of time left. I might need a little sip of water or something stronger. Ooh, as we're on board with Mishy Joy. Thankfully his cow's ghosted out, or he would have had his back end panned in.
Yeah, just now watching Shadow Moody behind Makoni. Very interesting, the difference of the tires, to see Shadow Moody on medium compound tire now with 9 laps, and Makoni on the hard tire with 8 laps, trying to go to the very end. Interesting to see as well, who will pit later on to soft, or are they all going to stay out? Kogutas on the 5 seconds lead now. I think he lost 4 tenths during the last few laps, but not a big difference, as Murphy just collected another 3 seconds on his wow, that's now 18 seconds for Murphy. I think his that's very, very close to getting disqualified, down to the time penalties.
There's hell on.
What's going on?
There's hell on in turn 1 and turn 2, and there's a ghosted car. There is a, what was it, a racing point? That might have been Murphy, was it? It was a racing point. But anyway, there's just cars galore trying to get past each other and trying to go really close to each other, and Matt Warner has gone from the session. Where has he gone, though? Did he go in the pits? I think he went in the pits.
In the pit, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the pit, right. Stand by him, and he's retired. Thank you, Matt. Spot on. Proper etiquette, as we like to always keep up at the Cone Racing Academy and the Cone Racing League in general. Always etiquette at the top of affairs. We're going to jump on Kieran and Murphy. It looks like Kieran got the move done, and he is away. Murphy having a wee bit of problems. Is that wing damage as well? Is that the front end plate gone? Front right, essentially? Not sure. Can't quite make it out. I think
sure.
But yeah, he might be having some issues as he got past. We're just going to go and have a little look at McCorney. He's in PA. He's took a really deep corner at turn 8 and 9, and that might have been a bit of costly. He's got the hards on, and he was trying to do it all. I think he's trying to really push. Got to keep him in mind, you know. The only slight issue is that the top 4 are well away. Kieran is 21 seconds, so they have quite, you know, an easy pick, not having to worry about McCorney, and of course they'll then have fresher tyres and probably wave him off at that point if they go into the soft. I mean, the track, it might be soft, medium. 8 laps of soft it would have been. The setup would have been about 14 on mediums and 13 on the second set of mediums, and that might have been the way of it. Now, I don't know if they're going to go for that, or whether they can get the right deg from the tyres to manage to get back onto a second pair of softs towards the end of the race, and really try and push in some laps towards the end. That would be 8 laps to go, so you're looking at about lap 27 to come in for that, if they do it that way. I would imagine it's soft, medium, soft, potentially. Don't know. We shall see, and obviously see what they've got in their armoury at that point, what they used in qualies, etc. But you can see Kogataz, Big Ben, Tomo, Warrior, Kieran, Piero, all on multiple laps, 12, 14, 12-ish of soft. So you can now see the 2 of them have dived in. Our race leader, Kogataz, has made way for Big Ben, who now takes the lead in the race. At the moment, Warrior Huntsman in second. He's also got to pit and feels like he can get a quicker lap out of these mediums just yet. So Kogataz just coming out. He comes back in to third. Tomo Tiptop coming out. Can he keep hold of third? With Kieran, who we just see in our periphery come flying round into turn 1, but he might not be able to keep the pace. Ooh, nearly a bit of contact. But Tomo Tiptop goes flat out and manages to keep hold of it. In fairness, probably the right thing to do, because Kieran does have to come in and pit soon enough, and I think all he would have done is hold Tip Top up, to be fair. Murphy sat in P9. Can't really ignore he's now out on fresh mediums. He'll be good. He'll see this out. So if he can get a bit of pace, he could potentially have a bit of a jump up with the few that are in front of him. Let's see if that timing's right. But it is it's fairly fast pits in and out in Canada, or the Grand Prix du Canada. As we see,
very interesting. Talking about pit stops, very interesting to see now. We have the first drivers from, was it Kotas, I think, who went into the pit already. Yes, Kotas, 2 pit stops now, as well as Tomo Tip Top. We have a couple of drivers who have had to replace the front wing, as it was Murphy. Yes, you did see the right plate missing on his wing. He had to change his wing, lost a lot of time there. Unfortunate for him. But as we talked about McConey earlier, he is the one of the only drivers on the hard compound tire now able to make up some positions here. But a little bit too far to catch up the leaders if they are pitting 35 seconds behind.
There's a car around.
Yes, we do have.
It's the Williams of Van Gogh Verden. It was just going around turn 4, 5, 7. I was getting coffee. 6 and 7. He got into a bit of joy. We did see him go across the grass. There was some problems in there with another couple of drivers in front of him, but that could have affected him quite severely as he's come out on the hards. Did he not have any mediums? 7 through hard. My apologies. He hasn't just come out of the pits. But you can see 1 or 2 have. Piero out in 9th. He is on fresh mediums, so he can now push and he'll have a bit of pace. Big Ben sitting in a pretty nice position.
Very wide. Oh, he crashed into the wall. Van Gerven.
Oh no!
He had just a template damage at the beginning. He went. It's at 180 degrees. The beginning of 3rd sector. He went straight into the wall. Has to pit now. Unlucky for him. That's going to be very annoying.
Yep, his nose has been removed, as we've just seen. Good for him.
And he went into the wall of champions and he retired. He crashed into the wall. There's going to be safety car. And it is.
No.
He tried with no front wing going into the wall of champions, but wall of champions.
Could it be
this
a blessing
is going to be
in
very
disguise?
Interesting.
Warrior Huntsman. This could be detrimental. He needs to dive in the pits and get out as quick as he possibly can. Without a shadow of a doubt, because the pack is going to bunch up. Could it be a blessing in disguise for Piero, maybe? You know, he's on 0 laps on his mediums. He's just come out. If people dive in the pits, can he get close enough to get a few spots up? He might benefit from this. Who we're going to see go in the pits? Is there going to be pit changes at this point? We know a few that are definitely going to be going in, but let's see how detrimental it is to his race. As you see Kogataz take his rightful place, shall we say, at the front of the race, and he goes on for lap 25, just starting lap 25 under the safety car. And I'm
very confused, sorry, but Sprunky, who is in the Ferrari, I've been following him the entire race, and he's really lagging. I'm not too sure if that's the server, but he is jumping around as well. If you pay attention to his little dot driving around on the mini-map, he was lagging as Joy has to wait there for some penalties in the pit. But he has been jumping around. This is a very, very weird race to commentate here today in Canada.
Well, he's clearly having some connection problems. It does say that he's 5 laps behind everyone, which I can't imagine that would be the case, because Sprunky's not slow. So there may be some issues on his part, and it's affecting his race. Was there a change there? Yeah, it's only because he's in the pits. So there are a few cars now coming onto the softs. A couple of laps with the safety car, which would put it on 27, and then we would have 7 laps left. No, we wouldn't. We'd have 8 to take us to lap 35. So 8 laps on the softs, which is what you start the race aiming for, really, on fresh softs. So that's just about perfect. Obviously be a little bit aware of the going around behind the safety car, but probably not a great deal. So this will leave the end of Canada as unsurprisingly as normal, with chaos. It always seems to be absolute chaos in Canada. Chaotic Canada strikes again. It is never a dull race. Very, very happy to say that, I suppose. But it isn't never a dull race. Things are going to be very exciting for the end of it as well. So we're going to see Kogataz currently at the front again. Kogataz coming into this league midway through the season, or was it earlier in the season? I'm not sure how many races he joined now, to be honest, but since he's come in, he's done really well. And he finds himself climbing up the championship, as well as the 7th last week. I think he could have done better still, and here we are. He shows he definitely can do better still. He's going to be 6 laps through these mediums with some cars directly on his bumper, namely Warrior Huntsman, who's going to be pretty fresh on the soft, so he'll be definitely licking his lips now. I think Shadow Moody, he is 17 seconds currently behind, but that won't make a difference by the time he's caught the rest of the pack up. Yeah, this one's going to be...
I've got an update as well from Dad Roland, who had to retire. He has sent a message into YouTube chat that it was actually his internet, that someone came over and turned off the internet for a while, and until he realized that he was on mobile data racing.
What a guy. What a guy. That is dedication. Love that in the CRA. That's what the CRA is all about. They want to improve their time to get faster and faster and show what they can do to try and get into the leagues of Tier 2 and Tier 1 and higher up in the Cone Racing League. That's what it's all about, learning to get quicker and quicker in the CRA. And of course, some drivers will go so far as to use their own credit to get themselves in the mix. Love that. Fair play to him. But unfortunately, it's not going to be strong enough to hold this many cars, I guess, in one place and try and keep some sort of connection. But fair play for having a go. Sprunky, he was 5 laps behind. According to the game, he's now 4, so well done him. He's flying. Go on.
I'm sorry, but I'm starting to believe that Murphy is a fan of collecting things, because he's a big collector of penalty seconds. He's currently on 21 seconds.
Whoa, 21 seconds to go.
24 seconds is the maximum, and then you get disqualified. Actually, a very, very interesting part now that we have the safety car in Canada. One of my favorite virtual GP race. If you haven't watched virtual GP race when thanks to COVID we didn't have any real life Formula 1 race, all the real life Formula 1 races like George Russell, if you want to see George Russell at the front of the pack, have a look at virtual GP race. It was very funny, and pay attention to Gasly in Canada, because I think Murphy is trying to copy him here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, enjoy watching it. It's one of the funniest races I've ever watched.
Racing line, all racing line, nothing untoward whatsoever.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's too many cameras around nowadays. You can't do anything. Right, so we're going to have a little jump back up to the top. It's probably worth mentioning that we've just obviously seen the penalties on the screen a second ago, and Kogataz has some time up on the pack at the moment, has had a worldy performance so far, and if he keeps on going anywhere near what he's... Oh no! Big Ben, severe collision? Severe collision?
He's trying to overtake them.
Oh, right, I see. He might be able to overtake everybody. Was he lapped? Was that what the problem was?
Yeah, he's lapped. He's behind. He's in P2 at the moment. Big Ben. He's behind Big Ben. And Malvin has some damage now. Front plate, side plate on the left side is missing now again.
So a bit too eager in the safety car. Is the safety car coming in now? Is it staying out again?
Yes, we had a restart already.
Is it gone? Yeah, it's gone.
Yes, it's gone.
I was going to say, we're aware. So, we're going to keep an eye on the top as Kogataz gets cleanly away. We're sat on board with Big Ben, who, as Warrior Huntsman, pretty much sat in his exhaust going out of turn 2. Tomo Tip Top has suffered a little bit more penalties than the others. I think he's got about 6 seconds more on some of the cars in and around him, so he needs to show what he's all about for these last few laps. He's down 2 spots from his qualifying position. Big shout out to Shadow Moody. 3 seconds? It can't be 3 seconds behind already. Or did he not catch up? No, he must have. Okay, so there's a 3 second gap between Shadow Moody and Kieran. I don't know whether there was a problem back there or we've missed something somehow, but 3 seconds seems like a huge gap in such a short time. But there is that gap. Murphy in the points, P9 currently. He looks at McConey in front of him. Michi Joy, the stand-in for Renault. At this moment in time, every single car on the track is going to finish in points, barring Sprunky, who has gone from 4 laps to 3 laps now. He is flying. He's got up 2 laps in about 3 corners. But we're going to have a little look at the back. Was that Murphy making a bit of a turn on the Renault of Mishi Joy? Or was it not? You think he was already there? Things are getting a bit confused. But the fastest lap has just been set by Big Ben. It said it at the bottom of the screen. My apologies, I didn't quite catch how quick that was. But I can have a little look. There, which is a 1:12.1, very close to Kogataz's fastest lap. And both of them the quickest 2 cars on the track at the moment. So no surprises there. We'll go on
if
to
we pay attention to the penalties, this is very interesting to see. Big Ben on P2 right now has 14 seconds. Warriors Huntsman in P3 has 12 seconds. Turbo Tip Top P4 14 seconds. We have many collectors here today in Canada. Everyone has penalties except of P1 Kogutas, and that means Kieran has actually a really good chance of getting a good position here, but Piero is in even better position. He has only 3 seconds, as well as Marconi. This could change tremendously. It's going to be very interesting at the end.
Yeah.
If the driver in front are collecting some more penalties, that's going to end up very interesting. Totally different than we see it right now.
Yeah, penalties galore. There's a 1:11.9 from Kogataz there, who's just set the fastest lap of the race again. They're all bunched up, but nobody seems to be quite close enough to make any moves. I'm going to jump on board with McConey, who seems to be getting very close to the back of the Mercedes, and he is going to see Shadow Moody in front of him once again. So all 3 of these are going to be quite close, and who's going to make a move? Is anybody going to make a move? And Shadow Moody goes deep. That's going to cost him, and he's gone sideways. There's going to be connection. There isn't a connection, but it might have been behind. Piero and Shadow Moody can't have been far away, but who profited? McConey did. In the Williams, slipped down the inside. Beautiful little manoeuvre by him. He needs to be careful on the exit of turn 9, but he has been, and he's away. So well done him into P6 from P8. Shadow Moody's had to concede their positions to him. Sprunky's now 2 laps behind. What is going on with Sprunky? He could win this race yet with 5 laps to go. Everything seems to be going wild on his setup. But the pace he's catching, he's got it in the bag. Tomo Tip Top has just gone into 3rd. Did I miss something?
Yeah.
On that corner?
Yes, you did. Warriors Huntsman was surprised that Big Ben was braking so hard going into first turn of Wall of Champions. Warriors Huntsman had to avoid the damage, collision, and went on the left side, but because he had to avoid the collision, he wasn't able to make Wall of Champions. He slowed down off track so that he didn't get a penalty. Smart driving on his side. He just conceded 1 position here. But if he stays into 2 seconds to the driver in front, Tomo Tiptop, he still has less penalties than Tomo Tiptop. And talking about penalties, Big Ben is on 17 now, getting closer to Murphy.
How's Murphy doing? Has he got any more?
Still on 21, yes.
What a guy. Oh, he's still on 21. That's alright. He's
still leader in the penalties section.
He's still in the points. He's got 2 on the 2 in there at the moment. You see Sprunky in front of him, who's only at 1 lap behind everyone now. Sprunky, driver of the day, he's got to be. I don't even think he's in the race. I think he's on AI, but he's catching a lap every lap, which is more than impressive. Murphy in P9, Mishi Joy in P10. So everybody's going to get points. Piero in P8. He's looking at Shadow Moody in front of him, half a second. He had the DRS, but has had to back out just before the last 2 corners, 13 and 14. But he has the DRS again. Will he dive in there before turn 1? I don't think it's there for him, but he hasn't. Fair play to him. He's going to stay right in the slipstream as Shadow Moody's back end just flicks out a little bit. You need to really have a lot of pace on someone after turn 1 to have any chance. Turn 2 to have any chance of being in front of them into turn 4 and 5. 3 and 4.
Piero and Shadow Moody getting very close as well here.
Shadow Moody. I was on board with Piero. Yeah, we're watching that currently. I'm going to come out to the telecam just to see how close everybody is. Kogataz with a little bit of a space in front of him. Tomo Tiptop still got his eyes on Bex Pro Big Balls. He is going to have the DRS behind him, and he's not going to have the DRS on Kogataz. So therefore, will he have a chance to get right up him? He's going to put the overtake on. I would imagine he's got the Rich on as well. Not enough ERS in the bag, but takes one hell of a last corner, and he's going to have the DRS again. He's got big balls.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. Big Ben. Big balls as well. I've got it wrong. Big Ben. Man, sorry, man. I don't know why it came up different. It's not done that before tonight. You'll even see on the footage it says Big Ben normally. Sure it does. So maybe that's just chucked a wobbler, but if it did, it did. Tomo Tip Top in the Red Bull sits behind, keeps pushing. Lap 33 of 35. These top three. To be honest,
Murphy went off.
Oh no, Murph, don't do this. Don't do this. What? Oh, Murphy. Oh God, his front wing
is missing.
His front ring is it's like, it looks like those glasses where only one side's higher than the other. So the wings took a bit of a shatter in there, and he's not going to get any downforce. But he's a lap upon the Joy. So he's turned again.
He spun again.
Just finished the race. Murphy, just finished the race. Please just finish the race. Think about what you're doing. That's all you need to do, and you are in the points. We're going to jump off him and leave him be, though, just so he's not pirouetting for the cameras. As Tomo Tip Top again has DRS, but he's had to back out before turn 13. Still sat in third position. So everybody has now got penalties apart from Kogataz. This final board is going to have some ship shaping. There's going to be people all over the shop, to be honest. So the list that you see currently on your left hand sides, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye, because I can't imagine it's going to finish like that at all.
No, I can give you an update if you want. Now starting to the pre-ultimate lap. At the moment, Kutas amazingly with no penalties at all. Beautiful. Very impressive here on P1. Very impressive drive from him. Then, as for now, it looks like that Kieran has the... I can't imagine that I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but has the less amount of penalty seconds here. Would take P2 at the moment, just in front of McConey, who is in currently on P6 on the track, but he has only 3 seconds, so provisional P3 for McConey if he can stick to Boris Huntsman.
So, just want to quickly have a shout out here to Murphy. What he's done, he's in the top 10, he knows he's in the top 10, so a fastest lap would be valid, so he's jumped in the pits on lap 34, so he's going to have one final lap on 35 to have the fastest lap of the race with the least amount of fuel and fresh tyres, so he might get the fastest lap of today. Absolutely cheeky, and it was a free pit because he knew he had the distance on Missy Joy, and he's not going to catch 30 seconds on the Shadow in front, Piero in front of him. So he's just had a cheeky one, and he might just get today's fastest lap. So we'll keep a little eye on him. He's got a 3-second time penalty on his outlap. Unfortunate for him. Tomo Tip Top, he's still having a good close look on the last lap. Oh, he's never. Has he crashed?
No, he has 24 seconds now. I think that's the last stage before getting disqualified.
Ooh, I'd laugh.
Will you make it?
If it's on his fastest lap. If it's his fastest lap, he does it right at the end. No, I won't. That's not fair. Tomo Tip Top is in P3, and he is Big Ben's closest rival. Is he going to have chance? There's yellow flags on the stage again. Not sure where that one was coming from.
Oh, Huntsman.
Huntsman.
Like another 3 seconds. He's in 18 seconds.
Oh, he's less than a second behind McConey. So McConey will likely jump in front of him. Will Shadow as well, 3 seconds behind him. Keep looking, and everyone keep looking at the front as we see Kogataz, penaltyless, comes to finish the Canadian Grand Prix in style, deserves his top of the pops today. Absolutely class by him as Tomo Tip Top goes. Kierant has jumped in with Tomo Tip Top. Kierant has put himself into second. Tomo Tip Top in third. Big Ben currently in fourth, but he's been taken by McConey, who's jumped out of nowhere. What a ride for him today is in P4. Piero jumps into P6. He'll be over the moon with that. So Big Ben in P5, Piero in P6, Shadow Moody, P7, Warrior of Huntsman in P8, and Murphy and Missy Joy are quite away from finishing, so they won't be able to jump ahead of them. But look at what went on there. Fair play to Sprunky, by the way. Did he stay in the race or not? I'm not too sure if he actually did. I think it might be AI. If he did, what a guy. If not, he just retired on the track.
I think we just commentated an AI.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Sprunky.
Yeah, I've just clicked. Yeah, I think.
What is Sprunky doing on my screen?
He's riding the wall. Why not?
He did.
Race is finished. So Murphy is just making his way around to finish us all off in P9. So Kogataz wins. Kieran in second. Tomo Tiptop didn't get the fastest lap, did he?
No, he didn't.
Tomo Tiptop
2 tenths off.
Oh, lucky him. McConey in P4. X-Pro in P5. Piero, what a race for him today. Well done, Piero. Big shout out to him. My Corn buddy, he's in P6. P7 for Shadow Moody. P8 for Warrior Huntsman. Those penalties obviously took a big hit on his parade today, but he's still getting points, and that's what's the main thing, and I think it'll still keep him at the top, but we'll see. Big Ben, who was in P5, and he's his closest rival currently. I don't actually have the figures wrote down in front of me. I do for the Constructors. Constructors currently is AlphaTauri. They're on 401 points. Ferrari being the closest in second with 329. Alfa Romeo in third, 298. McLaren behind them on 290, so only the 8 points between them. And then we followed Racing Point and Haas underneath them, bringing up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position. We follow Murphy back round. I think we're going to end up going around the whole lap with him.
Yes, the biggest question is, while we're waiting for Sprunky here to unlap his 17 laps, who is your driver of the day?
For me, I think there's been some unbelievable performances. I think Kieran deserves a shout, and this is where I'm going to be a little bit. I'm going to find this hard. I think Kogataz today has been unreal from start to finish. He's drove the perfect race, kept himself out of problems, kept himself at the front. Really kept his head down. I tell you what, I'm sorry to Kogataz. I'm going to give it to Kieran, just purely because he's kept his penalties as low as he can. He's kept plugging away. He's been right down the field. He's jumped from 9th on the grid all the way up to P2. I think that's a class drive. It just shows how hard it is to stay away from the penalties on this track. So I don't care he's got penalties. Kogataz hasn't got any penalties though. How can I take it off Kogataz? There's a dual driver of the day from me. You're going to have to make that decision. There you go. The computer's made it for us. He's made it for us. Driver of the day is Kieran. Who would you say? Would you differ?
It is a very, very hard decision to make, because we've seen so many beautiful moves in the top 3, top 4. Tomo Tiptop in a beautiful battle with Big Ben there all the way. Yeah. Kieran and Kogataz, obviously two prime driver here as well, performing absolutely wonderful. Kogataz, outstanding performance on his side, but the move which made my day for today was actually the double overtake from McConey. Which term was that? That was very impressive. Both, that was a Renault and someone else.
I'm not sure. It was one of the double corners, either 6 and 7 or 8 and 9, I think.
Yeah,
6 and 7?
I think it was Tomo Tiptop and Renault. Michi Joy went wide, and I think Tomo Tiptop had to avoid him, and McConey just went on the inside of both cars. Yes, that was impressive. Yeah. So I'm tempting to go driver of the day to him, but it is a hard decision. Also just 3 seconds penalty points, as you can see it. So.
Just a big shout out to the Alfa Romeos. What a day for Alfa Romeo. Currently third in the championship. Yes. They take 1-2 with Kogataz and Kieran. It's unbelievable from them two. The fastest lap of the day. Nobody got under the 1.12, apart from your race winner Kogataz. That sort of swings well. I probably should give him a race the driver of the day. I feel awful. I can always give it in the group. Yeah, I can always give it in the group. So there you have it. That was the Canadian Grand Prix. Kogataz wins. Kieran and Tomo Tiptop join him on the podium. Good race from McConey. Big Ben in 5th. Could have done better, could have done a lot worse though, so he'll still take that as a performance. Piero with a superb drive today, and he'll be happy with himself. Shadow Moody in 7th, Warrior Huntsman. He'll have wanted more. I know he'll have wanted more, but I think he'll have pushed that hard that I think he's gone across a few corners in the process. That's alright, that happens, and he's got his points today. In 8th position, Murphy with 9 points, in 9th position for 2, and it will be Michi Joy sending him for the Renault today. He'll get 1 point to finish us off a lap behind, but does it matter when you have Reverend Melvin, Van Goverd and Matt Warner, Sprunky, Assault King and Dat Roland not finishing the race today, which just shows you how much a cruel mistress Canada can be in the circuit. Jacques Villeneuve, but I think you were saying before it's Jacques, Jaqeues, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Jacques. We are going to see you, hopefully, all of you, next week for round 10. We're in China. Steiny, what are you looking like? Are you going to come and join me?
Oh yes, I will be definitely there, and can't wait to commentate in China. Very tricky track and hard for throttle and brake input. I'm expecting some great and amazing overtakes, but also maybe a few tough parts with spins. It's going to be an exciting race. One of the harder tracks in the calendar.
I like it. I do like China. Very, very technical track. We shall see who comes out on top next week. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next week. There's 2 races left as things start to heat up in the Cone Racing Academy, and of course across Cone Racing League. I've mentioned already, and a second shout out and a congratulations to Tier 1 winner Will. With the races still left, he's done enough to cement himself at the top. It is very impressive for a second season in a row to be crowned champion, and deservedly so. But can we see someone knock him off his throne next season? Ooh, we shall see. We shall see. Ferg had a good go this year, though Harvey Lees has shown unbelievable pace. There's multiple, in fact, at the top of the tree that are getting quicker and quicker time and time again. So we shall see you next week. Thank you very much. Thank you, Steiny.
Thank you very much for having me again, and I can't wait for China for next week. Thank you everyone as well on YouTube. Thank you for all the support. Never stop typing in the comments. We do read everything. We're trying to mention everything as well, and I can't wait for next week.
Perfect. Okay, until then, we shall see you later. Good night.
Thanks. Goodbye.